Hello everyone and welcome officially to spooky season. So today I'm going to show you how to get this kind of glam but still not very polished BeetleJuice look. It's pretty simple and doesn't take a lot of products, so if you're interested, just keep watching. So firstly, on a bare face, we're going to take this white Snazaroo water activated paint. You can get these at Michael's and you can use a 40% off coupon for them. I'm just going to take it on this really cheap brush I've got and just kind of slap it on there. It's not going to be very pretty or smooth at first, but right now all I'm trying to do is get just an even layer, or not even an even layer, I'm just trying to get some color down on my face. Also, I did not prime. I find that when I go in with water activated paints, they really work best on just clean bare skin. They kind of react with primers sometimes because of the silicone or whatever other ingredients in the primers. If you're looking at this and you're like, wow, what a mess, that's really bad coverage, don't worry about it. Like I said, this is just a base layer. We're going to go back in and make it look nicer later. You can see I'm just kind of slapping it on there, just brushing it around wherever. When doing special effects or body paint type looks, don't get discouraged if they kind of look funny at first. I find that these are really a trust the process kind of look. You really aren't going to get the result you're looking for until you get close to the end. It's a lot of steps and a lot of layers. Also, if you're not going to be wearing a wig, I would be a little more careful around the hairline than I was, because clearly I got it all in my hair. Now I'm going in with a second layer, which ends up not working out really well for me, and at this point I switched to a sponge. I thought that a second layer with the brush was going to be okay, but I really needed a sponge at this point. Also, make sure you're taking it down your neck and your chest, unless you're wearing a costume that comes all the way up. You want to make sure that as much exposed skin as possible is ghostly looking. Don't forget your ears either, unless you're wearing some kind of wig or headpiece that you know is going to cover them and keep them covered. Not coloring your ears can really make a costume look kind of awkward if it's not matching. So at this point I finally get smart and go in with a sponge. I'm just going to pick up some more product and it goes on a lot smoother this way. The brush was fine for the first layer where I was just kind of getting a base down, but for the second layer where I really wanted to kind of perfect it, the sponge definitely worked better. This is just a Real Techniques sponge, I believe it was, but yeah, any sponge will do. I'm just taking it down the neck and everything. I'm going to cut a lot of this out because it's pretty much the same process. So now to create the moldy effect, I'm going to take my sponge and rip it apart because it was a bad one anyway. So we can create texture with this. This palette I'm going into is also from Snazaroo. I also got this at Michael's. You can also use a 40% off coupon, same thing. So you just want to kind of stamp this around, concentrating the most color in the center of whatever spot you're doing and kind of like blending it out at the edge, I guess, a little bit. You just want it to kind of fade out. As you can see, I messed up on this side and there was black on the sponge, but I fixed it. So yeah, you just want to do that in whatever places on your face you think the mold effect should go. Now I'm going to take it up here on my forehead and just go into a couple other places. Also, since we're going for a slightly more glam BeetleJuice, I did use it kind of as contour, and then I did also take it down my neck and my chest. If there's any spots you feel like you messed up on or you don't like, you can always go back in with the sponge and some of that white paint and you can kind of blend it out or go over it. Now I'm just going to go back in and kind of touch up some spots I feel like I missed or needed more or needed some white to balance it out. I was clearly feeling my BeetleJuice self, if you can't tell by my little dance here. The nice thing about these paints is it's really easy to go in and kind of erase if you don't like something or you want to change it. I also went in and added some of the green to my ears, which regrettably stained my ears for a day or two. So I'm going to rip off more of the sponge. So now we're going to go into the black in the same palette here, and we're going to add some depth and dimension to these moldy spots, just kind of in the center, like in the most concentrated points. Also, I tapped it off on the back of my hand a little bit because I really didn't want to add too much black to these spots. I just wanted to darken it up just a little bit. I didn't want it to be stark black. I just kind of added this all over. I added it in all the green spots for dimension, and I also went into a couple other places just to kind of make my face look a little dirty, you know, like BeetleJuice. Then I just switched back to my green sponge and just went over things again. So now I'm going to do my eyebrows. I'm using Gerard Cosmetics Hydra Matte in the shade Night Rider. It's a nice dark purple, and it's really the perfect BeetleJuice color. This brush I'm taking it on is one that came with a Tarte set, I believe. But you know, any eyebrow or small liner brush will do. I love using liquid lipsticks for colored eyebrow shades, but just be careful because clearly, you know, they're not as easy to clean up as regular brow products would be. So if you make a mistake, it's going to be a lot harder to cover up or go back and fix. So I just did my other brow off camera because it was the same steps. Do a little dance. I don't know what I was doing. Now I'm going to take the same color and use it on my lips. Next, we're going to do the eyes, which is going to be incredibly messy and super quick to do. So really any purple toned eyeshadow will do. I just grabbed this one out of this palette and I'm just kind of stamping it around, not real organized or anything. You kind of want to just smoke it out everywhere and just, it doesn't need to be perfect at all. I also brought it down pretty far under my under eyes just to give it that effect. Just go in and layer it as many times as you feel necessary to build up the color and just however you like it. I wanted it quite a bit darker. And I'm also going to go in with some black eyeshadow here in a minute and deepen it up even more. Also, I apologize that the lighting keeps getting weird. My camera was having an awful time with it. I don't know what was going on. I ended up going back in with the sponge I used the white paint on to kind of blend out the under eye and give it more of a, I guess, bruised effect. I'm going to keep adding more purple to the crease until it's how I like it, and then we're going to go in with black on the lids and kind of smoke that around a little bit. I went back in with more purple under my under eye too because I wanted that pretty dark and smoked out. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with that black eyeshadow, and I'm literally just using the same brush I was using because it's a messy look. We're not looking for points for technique here. We're just doing it. So I just patted that around. I kind of blended it out a little bit, and I'm going to take it under my under eyes too. I did grab a little bit more precise of a brush for my under eye just because I wanted to keep it a little more concentrated right at my lash line. So off camera, I went ahead and popped on my wig and my outfit. This step is totally optional and really only good for pictures. I took some black liquid lipstick and kind of smushed it around on my teeth for pictures to make my teeth look dirty and gross like his do. Now, if you're wanting to wear this for an actual costume with the dirty teeth, I would really suggest go ahead and ordering some like FX tooth stain because the liquid lipstick's not going to stay. And here we have our completed BeetleJuice look. I'm super happy with how it came out. I actually went to Little Caesars like this. Don't judge me. So yeah, happy Halloween guys, and I'll have more for you soon.